This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Hello, I'm Allison Rodriguez with your afternoon update from ABC15 Arizona. Gas prices continue to soar. Prices up 20 cents just across the valley, and that's in the last week. Drivers waking up to more record highs, too. Right now, Phoenix drivers paying the most in the state at an average of $4.80 a gallon. That's 5 cents higher than places like Flagstaff and Lake Havasu. Tucson remains the least expensive at $4.47 a gallon. Valley Metro announcing some stops will be closed as they work to expand the light rail. The closures are from May 13th to July 12th as crews work to install new tracks. This phase of construction will also impact drivers in Phoenix because lanes will be restricted along Jefferson Street and First Avenue in downtown, with the stretch of Central Avenue devoted to local traffic only. WAYMO is expanding its self-driving operations in the valley. Starting this week, people in downtown Phoenix can use their rideshare service. Now, before, this was only open to WAYMO employees. Just use the Trusted Tester program, and you can apply through the WAYMO app. While the US 60 is still closed in both directions from the Loop 101 to the 10, the city of Tempe says repair work could begin soon. Leaks from the water line have been capped, and now crews, they're waiting for everything to dry out. No estimate yet on when that freeway is going to be back open. It is graduation season, and for a lot of new grads, their number one priority for their first job is finding remote or flexible work. Experts say it's becoming more common for new hires to come into the office for just a few weeks and then switch to remote work with monthly check-ins.
And it's incumbent upon the employer to try and help through the onboarding process and on an ongoing basis to make sure culture is instilled during this remote work environment.
Experts say they do see office dynamics changing long-term as well, with some new graduates potentially never working in an office. Well, right now we are in a Tier 1 water shortage along the Colorado River. This means more than 500,000 acre-feet of water is being cut from Arizona. And now experts say we could move into Tier 2 restrictions by August if the drought continues. We're seeing those low water levels at Lake Mead. Water levels there, they've dropped 170 feet since the 1980s. Today, one of the boat launch ramps is closing because of the low lake levels.
With that white line to remind us what full is, it's definitely, it's obvious something is changed.
Just last week, the falling water level exposed one of the reservoir's original water intake valves for the very first time, forcing officials to shut it down and use another one. Lake Mead is the largest man-made reservoir in the United States. It does supply water to 40 million Americans. Flu cases, they're rising as we reach what is normally the end of the season. Nationally, the CDC reports nearly 1 in 10 positive tests in the mid-April peak of the late season surge. And in Arizona, we do have a 20% increase in cases between the last 2 weeks alone. The CDC saying this will be the first time in 40 years the country experienced this much of an increase this late in the season. Now, despite the surge, health officials say this has been a relatively mild flu season.
Time for the most accurate forecast. I'm meteorologist Iris Hermosillo. On this Wednesday, look for strong winds across the state and an increased fire danger. Temperature-wise, though, not too bad. We're talking highs in the 80s here in the valley with a high of 89 for Phoenix, 78 in Sedona, upper 60s in Kingman, and low 60s in spots like Flagstaff. Today, the coolest of the next 7 for the valley. So enjoy it if you don't mind the winds. Now, the winds gusting as high as 30 miles an hour here in the valley, coming in out of the west by this afternoon. And for northern Arizona, gusts could go as high as 55 miles an hour this afternoon. Windy conditions there. That's prompting wind advisories for that entire northern half of our state, and red flag warnings or fire weather warnings because relative humidity will be down below 10% in some of these spots. So very high fire conditions across northern and eastern Arizona, even that higher terrain north of the valley too. So make sure that you're using those precautions as fires can get started very easily under these conditions. After today, we warm things up. By the end of the week, we're in the upper 90s. Then it's getting hot this weekend with a high of 105 by Sunday in Phoenix.
Well, another update tonight, but until then, you can get the latest news, weather, and traffic at abc15.com or by downloading that free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.